Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you for so. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my story. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on me. Much for clicking on Storytimes with Renee. Thank you so much for clicking on me. I have another story time for you guys. It was pretty much about the time. You already know what it is. I can't get into my story until you guys like and subscribe to my channel. Like, subscribe, super easy. Like and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below anytime you're ready. And yeah, so for my 18th birthday, me and my girls are like, like, Renee, what are you gonna do for your birthday? What are you gonna do? Oh my God, we have to do something. So I'm like, I think I should have a hotel party. Like, at the time, a lot of people were having hotel parties. And I'm just like, I think that would be so lit. We can buy bottles, we can all chill, we can all turn up. You know what I mean? I'll get a nice room and we could all chill. Decent night, right? Lit night. So I went to my mom and I'm like, oh mom, like, I think I want to have a hotel party for my birthday. And she was like, okay, like, look at the rooms and show me the price and I'll pay for it. So I'm like, all right, lit. So I looked up a hotel. I'm like, okay, let's go to this hotel. Like, this hotel looks decent. So pretty much in this room, it was a business room. So like if you're a business type person, this is the room that you would get. So this room had like a living room. It had like 2 queen size beds in one room. And then it had a double door, 2 doors to go into the bathroom. There was like a little mini fridge in there. It was a nice room. It was like a decent room. The couch pulls out into a bed pretty much. So if other people wanted to sleep there, we have 2 beds and we have, yeah. So pretty much I wanted to have like a sleepover hotel party. Invite a whole bunch of girls, invite a whole bunch of guys. And yeah, we all have a good time, right? So during this time, we pretty much were like, oh, let's make this night epic. So do you guys remember that movie? I think it was called Epic Movie. No, that's not what it's called. What is that movie called? And pretty much they have that huge party and so many people come. And what is it called again? I'll figure it out. I'll put it right here when I figure it out. But pretty much we wanted to have a party just like that. We're like, what? Obviously we can't do it in a hotel room, but we wanted to do something like it. So we're like, we're gonna go to the store and buy a whole bunch of cups, whole bunch of alcohol, shot cups. We pretty much bought a duckling. So pretty much this duckling, you could fill it up with alcohol. We bought a whole bunch of stuff for my party pretty much. We wanted this night to be super epic. Bought different things, right? So pretty much we end up at the hotel now the first day. This was Saturday. The party was either Friday or Saturday. So pretty much we all pulled up. So it was like me and like 8 other girls. So Bubbly was there, Alicia was there, Rage was there, Cooley was there, Beyonce was there, and like a whole bunch of other girls were there. And a whole bunch of guys were there as well. So we pull up, we get into the room, we're all getting ready, and we're just like, like this night has to be lit. So pretty much I had a boyfriend at the time, like, or a guy that I was talking to. And let's just call him, fuck, it's so hard naming people, I swear. Let's just call him Puppy, because our relationship was pretty much like puppy love. I don't really count him as an ex, but he is someone that I dated, you know what I mean? So let's just call him Puppy love, right? Okay, so there was time when I was dating him and I invited him to this hotel party for my birthday. And he's like, okay, he's gonna pull up later, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. So during the party, I remember we were all taking shots. We had people come, we had a whole bunch of guys there too. We were all taking pictures. My mom came by too, my sisters came by too. And in these hotel rooms, you obviously can't smoke, but we were all hotboxing the bathroom. A whole bunch of people. It was a cool night. It was a good time. Like, for me, it was a good time. We're all taking pictures. Yeah. So during the party, we did have a few complaints. We did have the hotel people come upstairs and they're just telling us like, oh, there's noise complaints. You guys are not supposed to be having a party and stuff like that. I thought we were gonna get kicked out. So I had to like settle the situation. Like, I had to tell everyone like, keep it down. Like, you can still turn up, but like, like keep it down. Let's not get kicked out. Like that would be so sad. We never got kicked out though. It was a lit night. A lot of people slept over. So whatever. What's his name again? Okay, so Puppy came over and I'm just like, oh, like, introducing everyone to my boyfriend. I felt too nice. I'm just like, okay. At the time, like, I want to describe what he looks like, but fuck it. Whatever. He was just a very handsome guy, very attractive. I had my sister's friend that was there as well. I remember her coming up to me and she's just like, oh, like, you know, that's your man? I'm just like, yeah, like, you know, that's my man. And yeah, so I remember when there was a time where me and Puppy were talking and we're just like, you know, like, let's go find a place to pretty much, like, you know, pretty much. And we're like, okay, so the way how it is on the business floor, because that was a business room, the whole floor is a business floor, right? Yeah. So at the time whenever you go into the staircase, it locks on you. I don't remember how it works. You pretty much have to go to another floor to use a key to get back up. So once you're in the staircase, you can't come back out. You would have to go down to another floor in order to get back up, right? So I remember one time me and Puppy went into the staircase and I told Bubbly at the time, like, look, open the door for me. When I text you, open this door for me. That was the only way. If she pushes the door open, then we can just go back to the room normally, right? So when me and Puppy were in the staircase, I remember just talking. I don't remember what exactly we were talking about, but I remember just being so wavy. All I want is this man on me, pretty much. And I remember just sitting back and he was talking. He was standing in front of me and he was just talking, and then he was just slowly creeping his way down. I'm just looking at him like, oh my God, like, is he gonna eat it? Like, you know, like, I'm just waiting for him to, you know, do his thing. This is the first time we've ever gotten intimate. Okay, I think I should talk about how we met. So basically me and Puppy, how we met was, I remember I was on BBM one time, and you know how people do like random shout outs and, you know, you can add other people, stuff like that, like maybe different like group chats, and you can add different people. So I'm pretty sure this guy added me. So yeah, so pretty much we met on BBM, just so randomly, not even on a website, no social network or nothing, just BBM. So I remember I wrote something, or I had him on my list, and I remember I wrote something on my status, and I was like, oh my God, like, I need a prom date. And I remember he messaged me and he was like, oh, like, I could be your prom date. And I was just like, okay, like, who's this? Like, you know, like, who's this guy? You know, so from then we just started to get to know each other. Told me his name was Puppy, and he told me his age. So at the time he was like, oh, how old are you? I told him that I was 17, turning 18 in April. And he told me that he was 21. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like, you're 21? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm too old for you. Like, you know, like, I'll stop talking or whatever. And I'm like, no, like, you know, that's okay. Like, we could talk or whatever. And honestly, ever since that predator situation with the guy that lied to me about his age, I think ever since then I was more open to older guys, because it's like, you know, I was already around an older guy, and it's crazy how a traumatizing situation could make you like live in that situation. Like, you know, I didn't mind talking to older guys after that point. So whatever. When he told me he was 21, I was like, okay, an older guy, like, you know, they're probably more mature. Like, you know, at the time I started to learn that the guys around me, my age group, they just were not it, you know, they weren't mature. Like, you know, I was into the older vibe. So I was just like, okay, like, he's 21. And yeah, so we just continued talking after that, and we pretty much clicked, you know. Yeah, we pretty much clicked during that time. So when we did meet up at the hotel and stuff, we had not done anything yet, but yeah, this is pretty much what we did. This was pretty much our first time getting intimate, and I was just excited. I'm just like, okay, like, you know, first time, let's just see how this goes. So pretty much I'm just watching him go down, and then he ends up on his knees, and then he puts his hands on my knees, and I'm just like, okay. And then he opens up my legs, and I'm just like, okay, like, you know, he's still talking. I don't remember what we were talking about, but he was still talking, still, like, you know, slowly doing those movements. And I'm just like, like, you know, like, hurry the fuck up. Eager. And then whatever, so he ended up moving my stuff to the side, and then, you know, he did his thing. So I'm just like, like, you know, just enjoying it, whatever. He's doing his thing. And then I felt warm liquid, and I'm just like, you know, like, why is it so warm? I'm like, oh my God, like, why does it feel like that? So when I'm looking at him, he's doing his thing, and his face is bloody. So I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, did I get my period? I'm like, no, I did not get my period. I'm like, no, I did not get my period while this man is eating my kitty. I'm like, no, I did not get my period, no. So then he's doing his thing, and he's just like, you know, like, what the hell, like, what is that, like, you know? And then he got up, he spit, He's like, what is that? I'm like, at that moment, oh my God, I wanted to laugh so hard because why did he look like that? His face was covered in blood, and then he was just so shocked to see blood all over his face. And then I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know. It can't be from me. So when I looked at my areas, there was no blood on my panty or nothing from me. So when we figured it out, we're just like, oh my God, like his nose started bleeding. And I'm just like, what? I've never been in a situation where a man's doing his thing and his nose starts bleeding. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like, it's okay. Like, you know, I'm texting Bubbly, like, come on, bring napkins, like, you know, help the situation pretty much. And then she brings the napkins and then we're wiping up the blood and stuff and everything's fine. I got a bit of blood on my dress. I'm just like, oh man, I have to go and change because, you know, it looks like I either got my period or it's just like, you know, how did the blood get there? So I pretty much went into the room. Everybody's there. Puppy was still in the hallway. We're trying to figure out where we're gonna go and do our thing, you know what I mean? So I went and I changed into like maybe track pants, a tank top, and then we had left. So we went into his car, and we pretty much did our thing in there. And then we went back into the room. I'm trying to think, did he sleep over? Yeah, he did sleep over. So then we went back into the room and then we just enjoyed the rest of the night pretty much. The girls were there. We all like cramped up on the bed, maybe like 4 or 5 people on one bed, like, you know, it was good. In the living room, we had a whole bunch of guys too that had slept over. It was a chill night. That was interesting. And then, yeah, so after the party, we all checked out. It was good, no complaints. We never got kicked out, nothing like that. And then time just went by and like we would get to know each other more because during the stage, it was an early stage of us talking. So he would just tell me different things. And like, you know, the way how this guy was, he was kind of like preppy. Like, you know, the way how he came off to me was very like preppy. Like he wasn't no hood guy. He was just like a nice guy, like, you know, and he would do certain things on the side. Like he would dance and stuff like that. He would do crump and that was stuff that I liked. Like I loved that. That was the first thing that I was attracted to. I was just like, wow, like, you know, yeah, he looked good, but you know, the crumping part had me because I was really into crump. So I remember we were talking and stuff and he would tell me certain things about him. And then one day he's like, oh, Renee, like I have to tell you something. And I'm just like, oh, like, you know, like what? And he had told me that he robs things. And I was just like, oh, like, you know, I was shocked, to be honest. I was just like, oh shit, like, you know, you do? I would have never thought that you were that type to do that on the side or whatever. Cause you know, he was a pretty decent guy in my view, like in my eyes, he was a pretty decent guy, right? But that was fine, like nothing there with that. I didn't judge him. I was just like, okay, like, you know, whatever. So he had told me that. And I remember like maybe like a few weeks later, I don't know, my instincts came back to me. You know, my instincts are always real. I remember just randomly messaging him and I'm like, oh, like, you know, like be careful, you know, like just like, you know, just be careful with everything that you do. Just be careful, you know, like watch your back and stuff like that. Just be careful, you know, just be safe pretty much. And I don't remember if he texted me back. I don't think he did. He never texted me back. And then the next morning I was just like, what the hell? Why didn't he text me back? So I'm just like, oh, like, you know, I hope everything's good. Like, you know, good morning and stuff like that. Like, I hope everything's good, texting him. And I'm just like, okay. Like, you know, the day went on and no text back. So I'm just like, okay, I guess, you know, he's not feeling me. Like, you know, we're done here. I'm just like, all right, cool. I guess it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just like, all right, you know, like, take her out, move on from this. Like, it's all right. The man's nose is bleeding. Like, you know, I'm like, move on from it. Like, you know, it's all right. It's all good. So come to find out, a few months later, I remember there was a girl that I knew that knew his sister, and I had messaged her, and I'm like, oh, like, you know, message his sister and ask her where Puppy is, you know, ask her where Puppy is at, you know. And then she had told me that pretty much, and the sister pretty much said that their house got raided and Puppy got arrested pretty much. And I was shocked because I felt like I jinxed the situation. I'm like, holy fuck. I fully messaged him the night of because it fully happened hours later after the time that I had said that. And I'm just like, holy, like my instincts was real. I'm just like, damn, I didn't even sense anything. I never felt like anything was gonna happen to the guy. Like I never thought anything was gonna happen. But some reason I just said, you know, just be safe. And come to find out the man's house got raided and he got arrested. So months went by, no call or no nothing, kept it moving. And then months later in the summertime, I get a random message. Puppy messages me and he's like, you know, like, Renee, like, you know, what's up? Like, can we meet up? Like, let's talk or whatever. And I remember I'm just like, okay, like no doubt, like, you know, I'm on that, you know, like I haven't seen this guy in so long. We were talking and then he just disappeared. So I was just like, wow, like, you know, the guy that I really wanted to talk to, he's gone, but now he's back. So I remember I went to go meet up with him, and he was pretty much explaining the situation of what happened and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, like I felt like I jinxed you because I had just said it, and then, you know, same day, same night, you're gone. It's just like, wow. After that, like the relationship didn't really last long. I remember like during our times of being together, I remember like we would do different things. Like, you know, we would go on dates. He was one of the guys that, I can't talk about it, whatever. I remember like, you know, like time just went on, and I don't know, maybe just our chemistry just didn't connect anymore. Like we just didn't click, you know? We still did our thing, but it just kind of faded later on during the relationship, and it kind of just ended, you know? It just ended off. We didn't really end off on good terms, but I do wish him all the best today if he ever does come across this video. But yeah, it was just a quick relationship. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this story time. I feel like I missed out on a lot of detail, but it's all right. Straight to the point. It was very interesting when his nose started bleeding. I was just like, oh my God, like, you know, holy fuck. I remember me and Bubbly talking about it, and we were dying because, like, you know, just his reaction. But thank you guys so much otherwise for tuning in to another story, and I will be back with another story time. Do not forget to like and subscribe and comment down below to my channel, and I will see you again with another story time. All right, bye.